in this video, that's mostly what I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna test it on some really challenging STEM-related prompts. Plus, the awesome thing about Gemini is that it's multimodal, so it can take in and understand multiple formats, including audio, images, and video. In fact, for the first example, I'm going to take this video where I draw out a diagram of the app I want and explain what I want it to do. Let me play you the video first. I want you to create an interactive earthquake visualization of Japan. So let's say we have a map of Japan like this. First, I want you to list or show me all the major cities in Japan on the map. And then there's going to be a left sidebar where I can adjust various settings like earthquake magnitude, etc., etc. So these are the settings that I can adjust. And whenever I click somewhere on the map, so let's say I click here, then you would start to create an earthquake. So it's going to be an animation effect that slowly ripples and ripples all the way until it hits one of these cities. And based on the magnitude of the earthquake, I want you to calculate how severe the impact would be for each major city. So I've uploaded that to YouTube, and then I'm going to paste the YouTube link in here like this. So notice it automatically knows how to extract and analyze the YouTube video, and this takes up around 14,000 tokens out of the million tokens. Now, to make sure it's actually analyzing the video and understanding everything in the video, for my prompt, I'm not going to mention anything about earthquakes or Japan. I'm just going to write, put everything in a standalone single HTML file. So let's click run and see what that gives us. Alright, so here's its thinking process. For all the top models out there, usually they have this thinking function where it takes some time to think through its answer and correct itself before it gives you its final response. So let's look at its thinking process really quickly. Here it's breaking down the requirements which I specified in the video. A map of Japan, left sidebar for settings, click to create earthquake, earthquake animation, impact calculation, etc., etc. And then it starts with a plan of attack. So phase 1 is the basic structure and the map, and then phase 2 is adding the sidebar controls, phase 3 is the earthquake animation, phase 4 is impact calculation, etc., etc. So afterwards, it proceeds to give me the entire code. So I'm just going to scroll all the way down and then download this HTML. And then I'm just going to open the HTML in my browser, and here's what we get. Indeed, we have an interactive map of Japan, which you can move around. And if I click here, for example, it does cause an earthquake, and we can see the impact of the earthquake on all the cities. This is so cool. Now, if we change the magnitude, let's change this lower. And then if I click here again, note that the severity is lower than the previous earthquake, which has a larger magnitude. And then if I drag this all the way to like 10, for example, and let's say I click here, notice that the severity is a lot higher, reaching 100 for some of these cities that are nearby. And then let's see what wave factor does. I think this is like the speed of the ripples. So if I drag this to a lower value and I click here again, yeah, so this ripples a bit slower. Anyways, a really cool app. It totally understood my really lousy explanation and illustration from the video. And this opens up a ton of possibility. Instead of just typing out a prompt and not fully being able to explain how you want to design an app, you can record yourself just drawing out an illustration, explaining what each component of the app does, and then you just plug the video into Gemini and it would generate the app for you. Alright, next up, again, because Gemini is multimodal and it can understand images, I'm going